What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Mcfarlane Toys Mortal Kombat 11 Noob Saibot. And so here we have Noob Saibot posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Unfortunately, Noob Saibot only gets one accessory, and that is his gnarly hook weapon, which looks really nice. I love the detailing on it. It's a really nice accessory. And then he gets the Mcfarlane display stand. Other than that, Noob Saibot doesn't come with anything else, so let's actually move on to his details. And so here we have a closer look at Noob Saibot, and Mcfarlane has done a really great job capturing the look of this figure as he appears in Mortal Kombat 11. Now this is a more up-to-date look for Noob Saibot, which overall I think it looks really cool. It's a really nice look for Noob Saibot. One complaint I do have is that there's no way to actually store his little hook. I know in the game he stores it inside his body and he can pull it out at any given time. It would have been nice if they had a little feature like that, but unfortunately they don't. And you know what, speaking of it, let's see. Nope, can't stick the hook inside his torso, unfortunately. Would have been nice if you could do that. But anyway, having a look at the figure, he's done really well. I really love this mask right here. It's this really nice black and gold, and you can see they detailed it all the way up to his ear right here, which that's a very nice little detail. They didn't have to make the detailing go all that way, but they did, and it looks fantastic. Now, there's really not much to say about skin tone. Noob Saibot being a wraith, he's just mainly pitch black, and throughout the years he has had costume changes where he's sometimes had flesh colored, sometimes he's just had the white eyes. I think Noob Saibot looks best as a shadow, and this figure does a really good job of blending the shadow and wraith aspect of Noob Saibot into a ninja, and ooh, he just looks really nice. Now, one little thing I do have to point out is that the cowl on mine is glued on crooked. You can see it's kind of going off to the right side of his face. Ideally you would have it a little centered like that, but unfortunately mine just got glued down a little to the right. It's not a big deal. It still looks really nice, and from a distance you'll never notice it too much. And there's a lot of nice detailing on the cowl right here. Mcfarlane did a fantastic job. He kind of reminds me of like an executioner skull or executioner cowl, which that's a really good way of describing Noob Saibot. And you can see right here he does have these really gnarly shoulder pads, which these are sharp plastic, but they are at the same time rubbery. Like if you try poking yourself, they'll end up poking you, but they do have some give to them, so it's not going to be like jabbing you and stabbing you. It's just a little prick. So really do like the shoulder pads, and as you would expect, these do hinder articulation just a little bit. We have this really nice texture on his coat right here. You can see like the leather part of his shoulder pads right here, and then the metallic pieces for it. Just overall exceptionally well done detailing, and I love the weathering right here on the figure. It looks spectacular. The armor on it looks really weathered, so that's a really good job there. We have that same weathering right here on his gauntlets, and you can actually see the strap goes over and into the gauntlet right there, so that's really nice that you see all the straps right there. They did a fantastic job with that. It looks great. I really can't argue too much about the detailing on it. I know the sculpt could be a little bit sharper, but for a $20 figure it actually looks really nice. And then you can see he kind of has like these they're not really rings, but it's more like armor on these two fingers, and I don't want to get punched by Noob Saibot when he's wearing these bits of armor, because those look like they would hurt a lot. And one thing I want to point out is just the texturing on the fabric right here. It's supposed to represent fabric, and they did a really good job of texturing it. If we get his arms out of the way, you can see how much texture is in his costume. They did a fantastic job with it, even having some stitches throughout his costume. It's a tiny little detail that you really wouldn't expect to find, but it is a welcome little detail. And then of course we have some more armor plates right here that look like they're just strung up and held on by like string. We have some more bits right here. And then one thing to note is that he actually has some brown on his pants. It's not just all black. Besides the metallic color right here, we do have some brown going down his little sash right here, and then we have that same brown right here on his pants. So they did a fantastic job just making him look good and highlighting some of those textures, because that looks really nice. That almost looks like real leather right there. They did a really good job with that. And then we have his knee pads, which continue that same rusty, ugly metal, which looks fantastic. Honestly, it looks aged. It looks like it has a patina to it. Really, really loving the way he came out. Even his boots look really nice. If they had colored these straps, I think I would love this figure even more. But overall, really do love the straps. You can see he has like a seam line going down his boots. Looking really nice. And even the tatters on his belt piece right here look really nice. And then we go on to his shoes, where I don't know, but it feels like his toes should have been painted in that same metallic color that he has throughout his costume, that silver and amber. It kind of feels like they missed an opportunity right there on his toes, and I kind of wish that it had it. But overall, Noob Saibot here is done exceptionally well. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed and compared to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Noob Saibot posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Noob Saibot posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Noob Saibot posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we do have Noob Saibot posed next to a Storm Collectible Scorpion and a Mcfarlane Mortal Kombat 11 Scorpion. So with the comparisons out of the way, guys, let's actually have a look at his articulation. Now, Noob Saibot does have the 22-point system that Mcfarlane has been using. We do have a double ball joint here at the head, and despite what it looks like, the cowl actually does get out of the way, although he really doesn't look up all too well. It's just the way the head is sculpted, but he does look down quite a bit. We do have some really nice head tilt, and one thing I do like is that the cowl is attached to the head and not to the body. It does free up the rotation right here, so that works perfectly. Arms are on ball joints that do pivot forward and back just a little bit and pivot up and down. They are on really stiff hinges, although they've kind of loosened up since I've been messing around with the figure. We do get 90 degrees with it because it does butt up against his shoulder pad. Going all the way up, you can see doesn't quite go all the way up because once again the shoulder pad will get in the way. Yeah, the shoulder pad does flex enough, but yeah, you're not going to get all the way around. And it does look like this side was a little bit more loose than the right side, but yeah, you're not really going to get too much movement out of that. So we do have a bicep swivel, which works fine. Double bend at the elbow, giving us better than 90 degrees, so that works really nice. It would work a little bit better, but unfortunately his gauntlet does get in the way of that. We do have a ball hinge here at the wrist, so he does have some up and down movement. We can rotate that to have some in and out movement. It's mainly going to be inward movement because outward movement is completely hindered by this gauntlet piece right here, so that is a little bit unfortunate. So moving on to his torso, we do have a ball joint here at the torso, which does pivot forward and back, side to side, as well as rotate. We do have a secondary ball joint, which both of them combined, he can lean back about that far. He does lean forward about that far, can lean to the side really nicely, and then he does rotate at that joint. So he does kick forward to about right there, which is close to 90 degrees. Kicks back only to about there, hindered by this really thick plastic it's basically a traffic cone. You're not going to get this moving out of the way, unfortunately. Out to the side. Does he go all the way out? Yeah, he does, and this doesn't get in the way as much as I thought it would, so that is good. We don't get a thigh swivel on Noob Saibot, unfortunately, but we do get a lower knee swivel, so that does swivel really nicely, and it replaces the thigh swivel. He does have a double bend at the knee, although mine seems to be a little bit stiff. Yeah, that knee doesn't want to bend for me. Let's see if this one does. This one, yeah, this one does bend for me. I'm going to have to heat up this one just to get it loose, but yeah, you can see double jointed knee. don't want to get hit by that. That looks like it would really hurt. Then we do have another ball hinge here at the ankle, which does go back and forward. It seems to go forward more than it goes back, which I'm not complaining about, as you can see. Then it also does rotate really nicely. We do have forward facing pins, so you can give them a true rocker ankle if you really want to. And then of course we do have a toe hinge, but that is not as generous as we've seen in the past. So yeah, it's overall really nice articulation here on Noob Saibot. I really can't complain too much about it. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get imposed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Mcfarlane Toys Mortal Kombat 11 Noob Saibot posed. For my final thoughts, and overall, Noob Saibot here is a fantastic figure in terms of articulation and detail. He's almost a perfect blend that you would expect from a Mortal Kombat figure, with really good articulation and really great detail. Now, there are some aspects of his articulation that could be better, but overall I think Noob Saibot here kind of nails it home of what Mcfarlane can do, and there is a lot of soft rubber on him, so he does move around pretty nicely. I do enjoy the fact that the overlays are softer material, even though the little tunic that he is wearing does create somewhat of a traffic cone. It gets out of the way just so you can pose his legs nicely, so overall I really can't complain too much about that, although I do feel like his accessories are a little bit lacking. I would have liked to see something else with Noob Saibot. I don't know what, maybe a second hook. I know he doesn't use 2 hooks, but it never hurts having a second hook just so you can get him in really nice posing. Overall, I'm really happy with what Mcfarlane has done with this figure. The detailing on him is great, the paint apps are superb, and the articulation is fantastic for what it is. Overall, I really do recommend Noob Saibot if you are a fan of Mortal Kombat or just love the character itself. And Noob Saibot here can fit into other displays because he does look like some kind of wraith, and you can have him acting as such. So overall, this is a very versatile figure. If you are looking for Noob Saibot, he should be hitting stores at the time I'm making this video. I picked mine up off Amazon, where I did pick up Cabal with Noob Saibot, and overall it did cost me about $20 for Noob Saibot here, which is a very good price, seeing as how he has a lot of good detail and a lot of articulation. You can't go wrong with $20. So once again, if you really do need Noob Saibot, check out your local GameStops, Targets, Walmarts, and even Amazon for Noob Saibot here. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure videos, as well as all my other Mortal Kombat and Mcfarlane videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.